Did you just pull an Alex Huard on Alex Huard?
I did. I out Alexed Alex.
Well done. Hey Brent.
Hi. How are you?
Hey. Man, I'm tired.
Are you?
4 hours of sleep last night. I drove back from Guelph, Ontario, to East Gwizi.
What is it now? Gwissy? Not Gwizzy?
Gwizzy. No, Gwizzy. I said it laughing, so it came out with an Guelph to East Gwizi is about an hour and a half. I did that at 12:30 in the morning.
Oh, why?
Yeah, I was over at
Buddy's house.
Friend's place shooting. I've been doing some work with them. They're like a folk duo. So we shot a little live acoustic music video.
Cool.
For them. Here, hold on. They never asked for the plug. They don't pay me to plug them, but these are them. Electric Gas. Good guys.
Cool. I've seen
Good
that
dudes.
before.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, I've had them on my podcast. And they're buddies, so they're like, hey, we're putting out some music. Could you help us? So I'm doing a music video for them. Been helping with their branding for the singles. So it's been fun.
That's great.
It's been fun working with them. Yeah.
Good for you.
But yeah, so I was out in Guelph, and it was a long drive home, and it was foggy.
Oh, that's
I thought
right.
it was in like a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's been foggy
Yeah.
around Ontario.
Here too. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, very. Just after Halloween, though. Missed Halloween.
Missed Halloween, I know.
Yeah, 2
it was
days
like
after.
creepy, though. Like, you watch the movies where it's fog, and then all of a sudden this creature's like gigantic hand comes down in the middle of the highway.
Were you scared?
I was not scared.
You were scared.
I was just considering the fact. Honestly, though, like, so many people are still flying. They're flying in the fog. And I'm like, what is the point of it? Like, there could be anything right there. You have the dashed lines on the road?
Yeah.
3. I could see 3 dashed lines ahead of me.
Wow.
I'm like, where are you, like, what are you doing? Like, what's the point here?
Yeah.
It could be an animal. There could be a pylon. Like, there could be a...
Jason Voorhees.
I almost said pine cone. There could be a pine cone.
There could be a pine cone on the road.
There could be a pine cone on the road.
Oh, no.
A pylon. What could you call them? Cones or pylons? Right. They were cones. Anyways, yeah, so I'm just tired. I'm a little bit tired, but you know what I did do? I listened to Billy Squier.
Oh, good for you. That perked you up a little bit, I bet.
Yeah. You know what? It did.
Did it?
It did.
Oh, so it's a thumbs up then.
You get a thumbs up, Billy.
I wasn't sure there for a second. I thought you were gonna. See, I never know with you. You make it interesting.
Come in and throw you on this big path of, I went to Guelph. He almost ran over a pine cone in the fog. Maybe he didn't like Billy Squier after all. Just all those things combined. Maybe it wasn't a hit. So no, thumbs up.
It was
Billy.
Good record, eh?
Really good record.
Good,
man.
I know.
Yes.
I love this record. It's my favorite
Do you?
of his. Yeah.
Okay.
It's his second one.
But
it's sweet spot Billy Squier for me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Hints of 80s, but also felt, well, obviously, okay, so it was 81, so obviously, but I mean, like, it's 80. It's not drenched in 80s like we've said of other albums.
Right. I hear like late 70s, like in a kind of a new wave, hint, right? So there's some very cool stuff on this record.
There is. There's vocally hints of Robert Plant again.
Mm-hmm.
I've brought up Robert Plant a few times, but really great singer. He is.
He's just a fantastic performer. And I don't know if you know kind of I don't know what you'd call it, the lore of Billy Squier, what happened to him. So he started out with Tale of the Tape. He used to be in a band called Piper. And then they did well, but they broke up. He went on his own, signed a deal with Capitol, released an album called Tale of the Tape that did well. And then tried to produce this record, Don't Say No, with Brian May, but Brian May set him up with the producer of The Game by Queen, which I can't remember, just based on a scheduling conflict. Don't remember the guy's name. Mac was his last name, Renheim Mac or something. Anyway, great record, and went on to do Emotions in Motion after this. And so he sold 5 million copies each of both those records, I believe. But then
10 million.
Something happened. What?
So that's 10 million.
Did I say?
You said 5 million the one, 5 million the other. So I said that's 10 million.
Oh, thanks.
Go on.
Hey, anything to like derail my story.
I'm just the worst. Sorry, onwards.
So now I forget what I said. Okay, so so this is the critical part of the story. Signs of Life. Good timing. Signs of Life was his fourth record. He wanted to get Mutt Lange to produce it. Mutt Lange was not available per his nervous breakdown that he was having at the time. So Jim Steinman came in and did the record. Steinman? Yeah. Your old buddy from Meatloaf.
No way.
Yeah, Jim Steinman did the record.
Is that the tie-in between the two then?
What do you mean?
I guess so. Well, we did Bad Out of Hell last week, so.
No, I just was kind of going like this time period. This came out in 81.
Cool.
So I love that late 70s, early 80s zone of rock. Like it's just so good. There's so many great bands and records. But yeah, see, Steinman was all over the place, right? What I'm getting to is Signs of Life. There was a single called Rock Me Tonight. And I don't know if you know anything about this, but Billy Squier, MTV was getting popular. And everybody got the video treatment when they put a single out. The single killed. Like it was, I think, up to number 4 at the time. So they said, let's get a video on MTV and see if we can shoot it up to number 1. The video was really, really bad. So it was directed by a guy named Kenny Ortega, who had done some other stuff. He was trusted, but Squier was like a taskmaster. And he was he was a perfectionist and very short-tempered when he saw something he didn't like. So this video was basically a bedroom with pastel satin sheets, and Billy Squier was to dance around in the bedroom in a pink tank top. And so Billy Squier says, it's not really my image. And Ortega said, no, it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. So they did it, and it was awful. And it ruined his career, people say. By 1993, he left the music industry completely, walked away from it, walked away from Capitol Records, walked away from being Billy Squier. And that was it for him. And people say it was because of that video, because ever since that came out, Billy Squier himself said, I was playing to full houses. And then when that video came out, the crowds diminished by like half. I was playing to half houses, and then, virtually nobody was showing up. And, with every album that came out after that, he just kind of continued to descend until he finally walked away.
Man, could you sue the director? Could you do that?
Squier fired both of his managers over this, and called out Ortega in the press and said, I was made to look effeminate, and my fan base left me as a result.
So Billy Squier, is that a stage name? Did he come into, or is that actually
his real name?
Who he is?
William. Yeah. He has a strange middle name. It's like Heislum or something like that. William Hislop or something. Squier.
Nice. Well, he can play the guitar really well. He can play the guitar, and he can sing.
Tremendous musician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hooks. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of really cool stuff he did with these songs.
Oh, The Stroke. One of my favorite all-time songs. So that's number 2 on the record. First album kicks off with In the Dark, I believe. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. That's like, again, like you get a sense of the 80s here, right? Yes. He sets you up for it, which is cool, but it's not indicative of the rest of the album, of what's to come. You could have had the synth sort of all throughout. It was all really good rock and roll after this, but this song is appropriate with the amount of synth and keys or whatever it was used, and
guitar.
Cool. And guitar, of course.
There's that long guitar line at the front of the song that it's intense. There's an intensity right off the bat. It's a great lead off track.
It is. It's not like a poppy lead off. It's like a really, well, it's in the dark, right? So it's dark. It's like, what are we getting into here? Like, this is cool.
For me, it's a great blend of guitar and synth. A lot of people balk at the use of synth, but I mean, this is 81, 82, so we're getting into it now, right? So he embraced it, and he used it properly, in my opinion. And then the stroke.
Good tune. Then the stroke comes in, backing that up.
The first time I ever heard the song, I was 12. It was on the radio, and I think it was a single from this record. I think it was the first one. But I will never, ever forget the first time I heard this song, because it was one of those ones that just grabs you by the shirt. I was literally stopped in my tracks. I was in the back of my parents' car in the grocery store parking lot, and this came on the radio, and I heard that the snare drum is backwards, right? It's like do, and I was like, this is kind of cool. But then all the other things, I mean, like the background vocals are cool too, like stroke, right? There's this kind of like tribal thing going on. What else? That bizarre instrument, it's like a cello or something, like at the end. It's like this gothic type kind of cello that plays just for a couple bars. That's really catchy. And just the arrangement of the song, and I was hooked. I think the next day, and went and bought the little 45. I bought the single and played the Christ out of it. Like I
was going to say, this probably would, like you would, because I feel like I remember doing that. I feel like I put it on a CD or something with it, and it was like, I loved this song.
Yeah.
And like, you're right, everything that complements each other, the guitar and the way the other guitar, like, it's simple, but it sounds so cool.
And part of that simplicity, come to think of it, that's a good point. Like, it borrows from the AC/DC rationale, right, of space.
Yeah.
So the guitar is not sounding like all the time. There's space. Like,
right.
There's a little kind of do, and then there's space. The drum is a constant, but the guitar comes in and out, which is really cool. And that's catchy when you do it properly.
Oh yeah, I mean, you could just see an anthem, like being an anthem, is just like everybody in the stadium just,
yeah. I would have loved to be a part of that, because he just like, he probably milked that if he was smart, and just everybody was like, Stroud,
Oh yeah, it's one of those songs where you could probably do it for like 14 or 15 minutes and just be okay with it. And I'm sure he ripped a hell of a solo too, and throughout those shows as well.
Yeah, amazing player. See, the funny thing too about that, this is 81. I was 12, and this song and Super Freak, were kind of out at the same time, and my young 12-year-old mind was not yet aware of the fact that the song Super Freak by Rick James was about a prostitute. That's what they used to call prostitutes back then, freaks.
Okay.
And so super prostitute. I found that out much later. Then the stroke.
I'm finding out now. I was this old when I discovered that.
Oh really? Yeah, it was slang for prostitute. Freak was. And then the stroke. Obviously, we know what that's about. But when you're 12, you don't find that out till a couple of years later, right? So I was just like, wow, what are they like? Are they rowing? Are they like,
He had long hair, and he just loved it when they played with his hair.
That's it. Just run the brush through your hair. Stroke. Yep.
My hair. Yeah.
That's what it was.
There's a moment too. I feel like because I knew the song, loved it, downloaded it, but in the time of downloading, there were things you would download songs, and there would be glitches in them. Things would happen in certain tracks that like obviously weren't there, but because you're stealing music, we didn't know what you were getting. And there's that point in the stroke where it's weird. It does something weird. I think where it goes into those cellos you're talking about. I thought it was a bad download. Oh. That's what I remember from it. I remember it went really weird because you've read that gothic thing that kind of comes in. Yeah. It got really weird, and I was like, I get the right song.
How funny is that?
Yeah, because he never really paid attention to it. I just knew all of like the really awesome, like solid drum, wicked guitar lines, and then this thing happened, and I was like, this isn't the song. What happened here?
Oh, that is so funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Turns out it's just part of the song. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite parts of the song. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, that's kind of.
I remember I did that with a few other songs that I downloaded. So, anyways,
well, that's like, my memory. Just a quick word on that. I used to.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of used that. I didn't use Napster because I thought, like at the beginning, I'm like, I don't want to do that. It's not the right thing to do. Whatever.
But I stand with Lars.
Well, no. Lars doesn't have enough money to begin with. That's the whole separate show. But anyway, LimeWire was one of those. Do you remember LimeWire?
Oh, and so
that was another one. By the time those came around, I was like, you know what? Everybody else is doing this. Maybe I'll just kind of like lift a couple, right?
Yeah.
And by that time, the artists were getting hip to it and saying, okay, well, I'm going to load my own version of this song and I'm going to catch a couple people. And what they used to do is they used to insert like high pitched like feedback squeals and stuff like that on purpose, right? Or like those horns that you hear at sporting events, just to like, so the song would be playing and then that would be inserted, and it would, if you had headphones on, it could be painful, right? But that was like the revenge. And Madonna apparently was the biggest proponent of inserting these like, nasty noises into her songs to try to, burn people who were downloading them, in a pirate capacity.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I do remember
that makes sense. Like, good on you. Why not? Right? Like,
well, yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
Well, you steal my music? Okay, good. Why don't we control that?
Yeah.
It was also, you would get things where you would download songs and think it was one person, one band, but it was not. Like, I know that Home for Arrest was always labeled as like by Great Big Sea.
That's right.
So I always thought, I mean, one Canadian band to the next, but it was never Spirit of the West. It was that, and I think The End of the World
by R.E.M.
as we know it.
Yep.
Sorry?
R.E.M.
was also labeled as Great Big Sea though. Oh. So like, I just don't even like. I think they do a version, but
I know that it was so nebulous. I remember that because you had people who put that on there who didn't know what the band name was, and it might have been somebody from another country who just like knew the song but didn't know who the artist was and just guessed. And so it was frustrating because remember, you had to wait for so long too. The bar was like,
oh yeah, you had to watch it totally,
and then it would drop off because the download failed. Remember how annoying that?
An hour and a half to download a 2.5 minute song? Are you kidding me? Come on, I'm trying to steal here. Time is of the essence.
Those days are over. So
me too.
Bad. How easy is it to use Spotify now?
Yeah, I know, but I feel like we're starting. I feel like with the cost of streaming services, a lot of piracy websites are starting to make a comeback, especially in the video world. Because like streaming services for Netflix and Amazon and Disney are all going up in price.
Yes.
That everybody's like, fuck this. I'm just gonna go like download it again and steal like we used to back in the day.
Yeah.
So, but the in terms of music, I'm glad that's gone. Yeah. I know it doesn't do an artist well to stream their music, but I shouldn't say but. There's really no but. It doesn't do an artist well to stream their music.
No. They make nothing.
It just makes things much more accessible, much easier, which is the part that I like. So,
yeah.
Anyways, I digress.
My Kind of Lover.
Yeah, so I think I ended up having like in recognizing this song.
It's popular. It was a pretty big hit.
This is the thing I like that he does is it's almost like two songs in one. Like he doesn't just take the verse and kind of run it into the chorus naturally like you might be expecting.
Right.
It feels like a completely different song, right? It's like starts out as like bam bam ba-bum-ba, and then you get to the chorus and it's kind of like this, you know, it's just it's cool. He changes it up.
Good point. You're right. Those are completely different kind of compositional pieces, right? That is true.
Feels like it.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like My Kind of Lover, the chorus is totally different from the beginning of the song intro.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, that didn't occur to me.
I like that. And the bridge is similar to the verse, more similar to the verse, but yeah, the chorus it does it again. We'll get to it, but yeah, it's cool. I like that he does that because they're not the same. It's nice.
So those 3 songs, like 1, 2, 3, bang, to start the record. Like that's, you know,
totally.
Yeah. And sequencing.
It keeps going.
Oh,
you know what I like.
It does. Like, you know what I like is great too, right? I like that. I like that tune.
Yeah.
And it's funny because that's, for me, out of the, how many songs are on this? 9 or 10? 9 or 10. I think, is it 5 and 5?
Actually, 10, yeah.
This is probably one of the weakest songs on this record, but I still like it.
One thing actually to go back, My Kind of Lover has the same kind of drum from The Stroke, I noticed. It got me thinking, like, why? I wonder why artists don't do that more often. Like bring recognizable pieces from. Maybe it does happen. I don't. Maybe I'm just not wise to it. But I just like that stood out to me. You know, it was the drum sound from The Stroke.
Right.
Was almost implanted into My Kind of Lover.
Really? I never noticed.
Well, I don't know. You know, when you do that more often, you know, I don't know. Go back and listen to it.
You got me on that on the Hendrix episode. Go back and listen to that, Jensen.
Go back and listen to it.
Off you go. Go back and listen to that. 2 Days Gone.
Favorite song on the album.
Oh.
Ooh.
Wow. Look at you. More than The Stroke.
What's this? Yeah.
Really?
There's just, I love The Stroke for an anthem. It's great.
Yeah.
Again, it stood out to me. There's just so much happening. There's a lot in this song that just, The Stroke is what it is. Let's not get it twisted. The Stroke is "We Will Rock You," right? It's one thing. It's over and over again. It's cool. This is like really great intro, sweet riffs through the verse. The chorus is like, oh man.
Yeah.
Although it does harken back. What is the song? Move, because for the chorus, right? He's moving, right, or grooving a couple times, right? Or in the verse.
Is it Judas Priest? I hit the city about 1 a.m.
Yes, it is Judas Priest, isn't it?
Yeah. It is.
Yes. So who would have been first, though?
1 a.m. Rolling.
Yes.
Is that right?
Rolling.
It's Living After Midnight.
Living After Midnight, you're right.
And that came out a year before.
Before this.
In 1980, British Steel.
Right.
Ooh. Look at you, Detective Huard. Copyright lawyer.
Oh boy. Billy, hit me up. Okay, about to revive your career.
Lawsuit.
All right. Bring it on back. Wow. Oh wait, no, he's gonna get sued. Never mind. Good tune. Love the tune.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second because there's a song on this record that's very Zeppy, Led Zeppelin-y.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's coming up.
Okay. Yeah, a good tune though. I mean, aside from now, I guess him stealing from Judas Priest potentially, I love it. Love the song. It's good. It's great. Yeah, and then, it's kind of cool too, right? You kind of make you think the way it's spelled, right? TOODAZE.
Yeah.
Gone, right?
Yeah.
2 days gone. Like, you kind of just makes you hone in on it, right? Because it's not 2 days are gone, right? You're 2 days gone. Just a little extra to really focus in on the song. I thought that's smart.
I typically don't like that stuff. Like, remember when Prince used to do that? He used to, like, instead of saying 2, T-O, he would use the number 2, And I just thought,
yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. Like Tupac, like something like that,
something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Just spell the word.
Wait, so does he actually mean 2 days gone?
Yeah.
As in TWO?
Like a lost weekend. Yeah.
I don't like it anymore.
Oh. Really?
No, I just thought it was kind of like your 2 days gone. I get it doesn't make much sense, but it's kind of like you just like your 2 days gone.
Well,
like
here's what I get from that. So 2 days gone means a lost weekend, right? So
I get it.
Right. And then 2 days gone, TOO days, like it just means like the reason why the days are gone is because I was wasted the whole time. I was in a daze. Yeah. I was too dazed.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what I like. I like the idea of that. Lonely is the night.
So this is the Zeppelin tune.
It is, eh?
So have you heard a song called Nobody's Fault But Mine? By Zepp. Came out later in their career. It was either on Presence or In Through the Outdoor. The intro sounds a lot, the guitar sounds a lot like Nobody's Fault But Mine. Yeah, very, very similar. And somebody said, might have been one of the guys from Zeppelin themselves, said this was the best single that Zeppelin never released.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like Billy Squier's song.
Yeah. So it's obviously just a little joke. I think it was Robert Plant. But it's mentioned in Hammer of the Gods, the Zeppelin biography.
Oh, okay.
I do believe. Yeah.
I just have the Bob Spitz biography, as we've talked about before.
That's right.
So.
Yeah. What do you want from me?
Nothing. This is great, man. I appreciate your time. This is awesome. Okay, number 7. What do you want from me? Wait, we didn't even really talk about Lonely as the Night. We talked about
All right.
I knew Lonely as the Night. I had heard it. No, I just want to say I like the song. What do you want from me? Huh? What do you Oh, I'll tell you, at the beginning of these shows, we should just figure out a way to get all these song titles in our intros.
You did that
before we get into it.
You did that. I can't
we did it
what
once.
Episode. Do you remember? You kept talking about it, but you missed one, and then
you came back with one.
Yeah. Well, you opened it up for me, and then I can't remember what it was, but you actually did that.
I know, and like pretty well. Did pretty good with it, I think.
I thought you did.
What do you want from me? It's a good tune. Enjoyable.
This is a really, really great song.
Yeah.
It's got that Aerosmith, Joe Perry slide guitar, right?
Yes. Like, actually, Aerosmith was the band that really came to mind when listening to Billy Squier.
Driving beat. Yeah. The bass, like, do. It's so good, man.
Absolutely.
So good.
And actually, do you know the singer Vance Joy?
Yeah.
You heard the song? Actually, when I hear Billy Squier sing, I can hear Vance Joy in this guy as well.
Really?
Yeah. Or this guy, Billy Squier in Vance Joy. That would be the proper way to go.
I get that.
At times.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome song. What do you want from me? So good.
Love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody Knows. Now, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, this is a big old skipper.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, I'm all for ballads.
Yeah.
Okay. I Need You is a better ballad than this. This should not have been on the album. I don't know whose call this was, but this was not.
Squier made all the calls.
Did he? That was a bad call.
Yeah.
It's a bad call, Billy.
For me, the bad call, Billy. I think
bad call, Billy.
The mistake is the falsetto vocal line. I don't know if he should have done that. But I mean, here's the thing, though. Like, it's not terrible, right? It's a good song. It's not cringeworthy. It's just not on an album like this. It just gets eclipsed. I don't love the falsetto. He probably could have sang this just in his normal register and been all right.
It's funny. All my note says is cringeworthy. So, yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's funny.
I don't like this. Yeah, I don't like it. Like I said, I love a good ballad, and this has potential.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice melody and everything. Like, it's a nice arrangement. Just the falsetto line is not good.
Yeah. No, yeah. We can go back and forth. I Need You, though.
That's nice.
Big fan.
Oh, the song.
That? Yeah.
Oh, awkward.
Did you just pull an Alex Huard on Alex Huard?
I did. I out Alex'd Alex.
Well
You're
done.
Like, I need you, though.
I need you.
that was very awkward for me. That's not my usual. It's not my usual approach. So let's just move forward.
Hold on. I was listening to Tom Power, CBCQ. Yeah. He was interviewing the Arkells, a couple of the Arkells guys. Obviously, Max Kerman. Yeah, no, he's been doing it for a while. Mm-hmm. And the Arkells mentioned I think they're just called Arkells. Doesn't matter. Max Kerman of Arkells, the lead singer, he said that they were at a Michael Bublé concert, and Bublé had mentioned that he did some music work with Tony Bennett. Okay. And he said, Bublé told a story that he was talking to Tony Bennett, that he said, Tony, I got to admit, like, I've stolen like ideas from you, like I've listened to your music and I've taken it, but I've also done it like to this guy and that guy, like from all these different places. And Tony Bennett said to him, if you steal from one person, you're a thief. If you steal from multiple people, you're resourceful. Huh? What do you think of that? I loved it, because like that seems to be my life. I'm like taken from everybody here and there, and I'm like, I finally felt like I was like validated a little bit in a way. It's like, oh man, I'm just stealing from everybody. And then,
wise man, Tony Bennett.
I mean, I don't know if he's wise. He's a successful man, that's for sure.
I would call him
he's
wise.
Done well. Yeah. So what I was saying is, right now you're stealing from me, but I'm okay with that.
You're the only one that I steal from, so that makes me a thief.
It does, but I love it. I'm flattered. By it. The bass line in this song is sick. I love it. I love how the bass line just stands out in this song.
See, this is super cool. The new wave stuff I was talking about. This is, that kind of the instrumentation, the way this is produced. It's very, you hear a little bit of cars in here. Like, you can tell this is very much of the time. This is definitely 1981, the new wave kind of hint in there. Yeah. I like it a lot. I like the song a lot. Yeah. Don't Say No.
No, another Led Zeppelin-esque acoustic key riff.
And that little pickup at the end, right?
Yeah.
So,
the pickup at the end.
Yeah.
It's a great song. I love how it fades in like he's in the middle of singing. I think that's really cool. You don't hear that very often.
That is cool. You're right. I wonder whose idea that was, because I just like, it's odd, right? It feels like you're kind of like you just changed the channel and you're joining something that's already in progress, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It sounds like it would have been Billy's idea, right? He made all the decisions.
Well, you're right. He did, but sometimes he approved everything.
Yeah,
that's what I meant by that. Like, he was the guy who, like, he was a hothead, right? Like, he was very short-tempered. I have a really good Billy story, actually, come to think of it, that my buddy Ian O'Malley told me.
O'Malley.
Yeah, so Ian knows him personally from being in New York, and I'll get this as close as I can to accurate. There's a couple of details that I might overlook. However, the gist of the story is this, okay? So Billy, I don't know what the time frame is, but Billy's playing in New York, okay? And Billy's very popular in New York City. This is, I want to say, maybe late 80s, early 90s. So Billy got a lot of play from O'Malley's radio station back then, which was, I believe, WNEW at that time. Big station in New York, center of the universe for rock, right? So he's supposed to play this outdoor show in New York, and the supplier of the gear for this, like, it was all kind of set up by I think it was the radio station who, fitted it. And so Squier said, I'm not going to play the show unless I can use my own PA because my voice sounds a certain way and blah, blah, blah. He's very picky and he's a taskmaster, right? So the station said, no, Billy, don't worry. You don't have to bring your gear. Just show up. We have the whole back line, the PA, like everything's ready for you. And he goes, no, I'm not going to do it. So the program manager of WNAW said, the program director says, what do you mean? You're not going to do the show, the concert? And he goes, no, not unless I can use my gear. And the program director is like, what? You're not going to show up? And he said, no, I'm not. So Ian is at the show and Ian knows him personally. The program director rips into the room, says to O'Malley, get Squier on the phone right now. So O'Malley's like, what the hell is going on? So he dials him, said, put him on speakerphone. So Squier answers the phone. He's like, hey, what's up? He goes, whatever the guy's name is, Jim. Jim wants to talk to you. He's like, yeah, what's going on? Jim's like, hey, Billy, are you listening? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, okay, listen really closely, okay? And he's like, okay. And so he grabs all of Squier's CDs off the shelf because they played CDs back then. And he goes, Billy, are you listening? And he goes, yes, what? And he drops the CDs into the garbage. So you hear this. And he said, did you hear that? And Squier goes, yeah, but I don't know what it is. And he goes, do you want me to tell you? He says, yeah. He's like, what's going on here? He goes, those are all your fucking records in the garbage. We will never play you again on this station. Go to hell. And hung up on him. And so Billy's like, and O'Malley's like, what the hell happened? Like, what's going on? Right? So O'Malley sees him in this place called the China Club. It's a bar in New York the next day. And Squier's like, what the hell happened with your program director? Like, what's going on? And he goes, well, you could, and the program director told O'Malley, he goes, dude, you got to play the show or the station will never play you again. And Squier's like, holy shit, I need you guys to play me. He goes, okay, I'll do the show. And he did the show.
Wow.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Cutthroat, eh? Cutthroat.
I love that story is about throwing all the CDs in the garbage. That was your career going down the, and what did he say? Did you hear that? He goes, that was your career going into the garbage.
Man, that was, and then he was just like, all right, let's do it. Wow.
And he ended up playing the show.
Wild.
Yeah.
Well, 4 out of 5. 4.5? 4 out of 5.
Not a half, eh? Just a 4?
No, it's a 4.5. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is I think this is a fantastic record.
It is.
Yeah. I like it a lot. I can listen to it all the way through.
Absolutely. Yeah. Ton of fun. Well, no, I skip nobody knows, but I skip it. It's a skipper.
All right. Skipper.
Yeah. It's a boat, Captain.
Good. All right. Great. I like that. Glad you like it. Another one under your belt, sir.
Another one right under there. Yeah. Where are we off to next? What's my next destination?
Let's stay in the same time period. We'll go back a couple of years. Let's do a Bobby Seger record. Let's do Night Moves.
Okay.
Bob Seger.
Is this in the Silver Bullet Band?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I know Night Moves. I don't know the album, but I know the tune. Karina and I love the tune.
The tune is great. There's a lot, like Main Street is on here, which I love. Yeah, I think this is 77, 76 or 77. He had 2 really strong records. He had this one and he had the next one. And I can't remember what the name of it is. But I wasn't sure which one I was going to bring in, but Night Moves, I think, is the one to go with. You're going to love it. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Some nice deep cuts on here, too, that you've never heard that you're going to like. What a voice.
Yeah.
What a voice.
There's one thing I know from Night Moves. He's got a killer voice.
Yes. Yeah, he does.
Sweet.
Love Bob Seger.
Wow. Love Bob Seger. Okay.
Yeah.
So we know how Brent feels about the album.
I'd give it a 5 before I'll spoil it for everybody.
Setting the bar pretty high for me. Great, man. Well, we'll see you.
Okay.
See you back here next week for 9 Moves.
The other record is Stranger in Town.
Stranger in Town.
Yeah. Also very good.
Does that have old time rock and roll on it?
It does, I think. Maybe I can't remember. One of these two records has it.
My parents can't stand that song.
Oh, really?
Old time rock and roll. Yeah, it gets played at every wedding. There's a lot of songs get played at every wedding, but every time that song came on at a wedding, it's like I was like, I've been trained. You know, my parents were like, "Oh, that song, come on!" So anytime it comes on at a wedding, we all like look at each other like, "Oh, the song," and then I'll just get up and dance just to spite them.
Because that's who you are.
My beautiful, wonderful, loving, caring family. That's how I treat them.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, I am. I don't need you to tell me or remind me, Brent. Okay?
It's a reality I deal with every day.
But it's not on this album, so that means they'll listen. I mean, we'll be okay. We'll be okay.
I don't know if it is or not. I can't remember.
All right.
I feel like it might be. I feel like it is. Anyway.
On Night Moves or on what was the other one?
It is
Stranger in Town.
Stranger in Town. It is on. I think it is on this one. I don't know.
Well, you keep saying this one. What is this one?
Night Moves.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, pray to God it isn't. Thanks, Brent. See you next week.